Right, still debating with myself if I'm going to record more for this game. In fact, considering the initial enthusiasm for this LP in terms of views dropped off quite a bit after the first clip, maybe not, because again, I am not getting paid for this, and it is more a matter of am I having fun doing a given LP that tells me if I should keep on rolling with it. Anyway, seems we're defending the tag championship from Triple H and Mr. Ass in this clip. I just checked, and apparently Mr. Ass used to be and would become again afterwards Billy Gunn. I wonder who he managed to biz off to get given the name of Mr. Ass for a solid chunk of time. And this is also before Triple H got any Motorhead songs to walk to the ring to. Motorhead songs that the band notably never, ever bothered to play in concerts. When they were in a studio and recording the game, they certainly sounded pretty damn good, but when live for a WrestleMania, they clearly did not give a shit. Granted, it's not one of their better songs, but still, it was the first song I heard from them, and what introduced me to the band, which led to me listening to many of the other songs they had. Heroes, God Was Never On Your Side, Born to Raise Hell, Ain't No Nice Guy, One More Fucking Time, and the Sympathy for the Devil cover are all tracks that I keep coming back to. Still, Triple H's two songs, The Game and King of Kings, were solid tastes of the band's overall style. Is it a bad thing that the only person I wanted to skip the entrance of here is the guy who's our primary player character in this game? Nothing against The Undertaker, but still, Kane was my favorite back then. And great, since we used Sting in one of the previous WCW N64 games I went through, I can't help wondering who was actually the better performer overall, Sting or The Undertaker. It's awkward to really say because both were pretty high-level wrestlers for a long time. I suppose there were individual moments from The Undertaker that hit all the right notes, letting him reach higher highs than Sting, but Sting was pretty damn consistent, with better promo skills and a constant bit of intensity no matter how old he got. I suppose I should be more focused on our title defense than comparing two wrestlers who tragically never got to actually work together in the WWE. Though they did work a bit together when they were a lot younger and unestablished at that point. How the hell did that body splash not do any damage whatsoever? Or just outright phase through his? Definitely not a promising start to our first title defense. But then I was expecting that the title defenses would be annoyingly difficult, just like it was tough to gain the championships in the first place. If anything, him tagging his partner in kinda gives us more of a chance. I'm not entirely sure if I dislike Triple H, or like him, really. On the one hand, he certainly has been quite the politician in his life. Hell, he managed to get married to the boss's daughter during the Attitude Era, and it certainly feels like he's had more booking power than most of the other wrestlers in the company. I wouldn't quite say that he's buried everyone who he's come up against, but I'm pretty sure that when he was on the receiving end of a squash match against the Ultimate Warrior, he took that to heart and did everything he could to improve his own star power to become the squasher, not the squashed. But it gets really tough to say how much of him being pushed really hard was because of his direct pull, and how much was because Vince liked the guy who was married to his daughter. It also gets tough to say how much the more negative feelings I've got for the guy are because he did some scummy crap over the years backstage, and how much is because he played such an effective bad guy for the majority of his time in the WWF/E. It's less of an issue for me to say that I dislike JBL outside of his character, due to his constant bullying bullshit, and especially when he took blatant liberties with the Blue Meanie at ECW One Night Stand. It's a bit more of an issue for me to say that I dislike Vince McMahon outside of his character, since, well, without him, I very much doubt wrestling could have gotten as big as it did. I never would have become a fan without him. Still, he let Jimmy Snuka get away with a literal murder. The way he pretty much encouraged steroid abuse because he happens to like seeing especially bulky looking men, and I'm sure that caused quite a few casualties over the years, and pushes such wrestlers with more energy than well-spoken talent or people with especially good technique. Sometimes it feels like he's forced to get other guys to get pushed. Then there's a way he used Eddie Guerrero's death and the sympathy that gained to milk people's love for the dead man for all it was worth. That's not a full list of the scummy things that Vince has done, but it's a pretty solid one. Whereas Triple H, I've never really heard anything about him being especially toxic backstage. Never really noticed him taking liberties with a fellow wrestler, and outside of the emotional mess that was the whole China thing, he did quite the job making it hard to tell where the act ends and where the man begins. And as much as I liked China back in the day, I can't really hold it against him for being a goddamn politician and marrying the boss's daughter, leaving his weightlifting buddy/girlfriend in the dust. It was an asshole move, sure, and the fact that China is in some ways treated like a forgotten page in the WWF's history grates on me, but in some ways it feels similar to what happened with Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita. Add in the fact that I don't generally care about love triangles in most media anyway, finding that kind of emotional drama something I don't want to hear or read about for the most part, and yeah. So the man has done very well for himself and has a tendency to look out for himself. Some of the crowd of people he hung out with were essentially college frat boys back in the 90s, though I'm pretty sure they've grown beyond that due to everything that's happened in their lives. And after some of the injuries the guy has worked himself through, and some of the especially great matches that I've seen him do, a good number of which he came out as the loser, it's hard for me to just muster the outrage to call him a scumbag, like I can muster for Vince, Hulk Hogan, and JBL. Hell, the man once lost to the frickin' Brooklyn Brawler, one of the biggest jobbers in wrestling history. I damn well know Hogan would never do that. Or at least in televised wrestling history. I wasn't really expecting this line of talk to go this long, but hey, it's something to fill the air with, since, again, I'm not really a play-by-play style of commentator, and I'm doing this entirely alone. No Bobby the Brain Heenan or Jim Ross or anyone along those lines to bounce off of you. If there was, then I'm sure I'd be able to get someone to do these tag matches with me and get some of the pressure off. Son of a bitch, I couldn't manage to get the tombstone on Triple H there. Oh, good God. Definitely feels like we've lost the momentum here. Please don't tell me we're losing our title in our first title defense. Please don't tell me that the Brothers of Destruction somehow became transitional champions so we could put some gold onto Mr. Ass. I mean, sure, he was a reasonably respected wrestler, especially when he was with the New Age Outlaws, but again, right now, his name is Mr. Ass. His in-ring name is a joke right now, so I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be treated like a joke. But then I suppose Al Snow was also a champion in this game, and he's an outright jobber, so they are literally putting the titles on anyone. Besides, just because the name he was given for the moment is rather garbage doesn't mean that the man behind the act is somehow worse. It probably says something that I prefer the moments when tag matches don't actually let you tag, and are just absolute chaos as all four men try to do as much damage to the other team as possible. And we've gotten to the point in this match where absolutely everyone is holding some part of their body in pain. I may not be an expert in this game or its mechanics, but at least I hope I'm showing that I have a solid enough grasp to put up a reasonable fight. Unfortunately, it feels like it's going to be more luck than skill-based if we manage to win here. This can go either way, and it only depends on who can get a pin or submission in some without someone else breaking it up. How the hell did I manage to counter that one? Well, I suppose possibly getting a count-out win is as good a way to retain the titles as any. Again, I cannot help feeling that my approach to fighting feels pretty similar to how Triple H would have handled things. Literally, I don't care if I have the skill to beat them, just so long as I keep the title and get to say I'm the best. Yeesh! I say that and I almost end up as the one who's counted out. Nice dodge there. It certainly looked pretty smooth. Oh, come on. We weren't even standing when he threw that clothesline. It should have gone right over us. Oh, for God's sakes, he's mooning me? Isn't it bad enough that he knocked me flat on the ground? Oh, wait, that's right. I'm not controlling Kane right now. I'm controlling The Undertaker. Sorry about that bit of confusion. And it looks like The Undertaker is going to end up taking a pedigree. Or whatever the hell that is. A move I'm pretty sure Triple H has never actually done in his life. They didn't even need to try stopping Kane from interrupting the count. That was a frustrating amount of effort just to get my ass kicked in the end. It's fairly easy to see why I just stopped recording this game in the absolute next clip, and why I just went straight to No Mercy recording afterwards. And good God, Road to WrestleMania in this game is so annoying that I decided to back out of it and do an exhibition match instead, just to close this clip out. While I'm still considering recording more of this game, it's still kind of up in the air. And, I think I just need more story to get me more motivated in what's going on around here. On second thought, I'm playing as Kane and beating on The Undertaker a bit to release some of my frustrations with this game. I don't think we need to bother with the time limit, considering the length of the matches we've gone through so far. Hell, I could easily end this LP on this clip and just go back to working on Metroid Prime 2, and then get to No Mercy at some other point. I do not know what I'm gonna do after this clip. Yeah, the difficulty is set to normal. It shouldn't be too frustrating, but it also shouldn't be a completely one-sided thing in our favor. Let's get this one-on-one match between the brothers started. The pair certainly clashed a decent number of times over the years. know that Paul Bear would occasionally switch which of the two brothers he walked in with, but we never had a choice before the match started to have a manager for either one of them. It's not that big of a thing, but it still kind of caught me off guard there. Anyway, let's get this match rolling. I probably mentioned this before, but there's a sign that explicitly says China suck it back there. More than a little awkward considering what happened to her after she left the WWF. Anyway, the usual thing back in Kane's masked days was that he was stronger than The Undertaker, but The Undertaker was more tactical. You even had an explicit rope-a-dope moment in one of their matches. That dynamic kind of changed once Kane took the mask off, where it felt more like Kane was just inferior in every way, strength and technique. He was just more sadistic. But in this match, I'm pretty sure it's gonna feel like Kane is the more skilled, while The Undertaker the more underhanded. But maybe I'm a bit premature to say that, considering how early in the match we are. Right. Apparently his punch has a bit more range than ours. And given how this match is flowing, despite it explicitly being set on normal, I'm starting to think I've overestimated my own skills. I thought that the tougher matches in Road to WrestleMania were set on hard mode. But then it's not like the game explicitly tells you what difficulty the AI is going to be in Road to WrestleMania. This match is definitely not going the way I was planning when I decided to do it, but it's still pretty fun. At the very least, I feel more invested in this match that I chose to do rather than the matches that Road to WrestleMania was choosing for us. Even if I'm downright embarrassed that we're taking a tombstone in less than 2 minutes here. What the hell? Really grown to wonder what the point of that cheeky pin even is. It certainly doesn't seem to make the pinfall any more secure than a regular pin, and that doesn't do any damage. Is it just there because The Undertaker occasionally pins like that, and only because of that? Right, my fault for turning off rope breaks here. I have no one to blame but myself. Okay, why do some of his punches move faster than ours? Oh, now he's just being a show-off as he dominates me. Why does our character slide towards the rope, even when there are no rope breaks in the match? I would have thought that sort of thing would stop happening when we shifted that particular setting off. Ugh. Okay, why does a shove seem to have the same impact as a punch? Well, at least I'm finally getting some momentum on our side, that's something. Not that it changes the fact that we're more injured than he is, or that I underestimated how much he'd have going for him in this match when I said the difficulty before we got started. Seriously, you'd think that my experience with the WCW games would have given me some measure of experience advantage here. It's the same mechanics. Did that even hit us? Because I didn't really get any sense of impact there. like it's his turn to take a tombstone piledriver, and for good measure, we'll give him a second because he certainly knocked us around a good amount in this match. Right, your turn for a cheeky pin. And apparently that still wasn't enough. Bloody hell, this is certainly a closer match than I was expecting. But again, it's pretty fun in its own right. And it's making me hungry for a game with an actual story behind it. One where I can get emotionally invested based on what's going on to the characters at this moment. Not based on me remembering things from the past or doing quick bits of research. Darn, didn't mean to pin him there. Well, this should definitely seal the deal. Is it my fault that this match, the finishing moves need to be repeated numerous times to get the job done, or is it the game's fault? And apparently we get the win via knockout, which makes me think we should be doing a more martial arts-based fighter like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. At least then I'd know how close we are to victory or defeat with a health bar. Anyway, I hope this was a fun clip, and I also hope you enjoy whatever the hell I decide to do after this. As a side note, I just checked what the next clip for this game would have been if I didn't just decide this is the last one. A depressing loss against the Godfather and Val Venus after 22.5 minutes. Yeah, I am done with WrestleMania 2000.